Is there any stories from the 39th that jump out that you can think of from the guys that you spoke to?
There is one story which I always tell in order to convey the message of the 39th Battalion. The story of Jim Cowie, MC. Jim Cowie was a member of the same company as Albert Jacka. He was a second-day lander. He landed at Gallipoli on the 26th of April 1915. So in the 14th Battalion, which was very, very famous battalion, because obviously Albert Jacka had won the first VC for Australia in the First World War. But Jim Cowie, who was a man who had been an enlisted man at the time in the Gallipoli landings, had gone on to be commissioned and was part of the AIF expansion and moved into the sister battalion. That's where they took half of the guys in the 14th and they put them, and other units, they put them into a new unit. And he went off onto the Western Front, got a military cross, came back, was a bit disenchanted when the appeasement of Nazi Germany on the very outset, just before the Second World War, and had actually resigned his reserve commission, had sent his medals, his military cross, back into Victoria Barracks, said, I don't want anything to do with this. Then war is on our doorstep with Japan. He volunteers for service. He's pretty old. He's 56, I think, at the time. And he is put into the militia as one of those old and bold. He's one of the few that survived the cull, going up for tropical service. And history just places him as a guy that served in Gallipoli at Kokoda, at the Second Battle of Kokoda. He's with A Company. He's a staff sergeant. And in the heat of battle, when the orders had been given to withdraw, Jim Cowie. Now, this is a guy who at Gallipoli had shrapnel wound above his right eye and was evacuated three times. He would have been back to Gallipoli, but he didn't get back because the campaign was over. And he makes it up to Kokoda at 56 years of age. And he, in the dark of the night, when the fog is coming down over the rubber plantation, A Company, which was a company of the 39th that was tasked with the Second Battle of Kokoda, as a mainstay, I should say. There's other companies involved. And the men are starting to make their way back to Zaniki. There's chaos around. Jim Cowie, who went through, and he said to the men, he said, don't run. He said, the Japanese don't know who we are in the dark. He said, let's just calmly walk out. And on his way back through the back of the airfield, a Juki, a machine gun, a woodpecker machine gun, opens up on the men. JD and the other chaps, they sort of scatter, and Jim Cowie, wounded above the right eye, picks up a rifle, takes a sight picture with his right-handed, but he takes a sight picture with his left eye. He kills the number one on the machine gun. The number two comes on, he takes him out, and he says, boys, we shouldn't go this way. Let's go the other way. And he ends up staying up all night and getting the men back. He should have been at least given a gong for that, but of course he resigned his commission, sent his MC into Victoria Barracks, and he wasn't to get it. But it's men like that. Imagine that, Gallipoli to Kokoda. They're the guys who are really the essence of the whole story of Kokoda.